Oh, we are back. What the hell is going on, Alan?
What's going on, man? Like the funny thing is, what people don't understand, if we didn't remind ourselves, Mark and I would have a whole ass conversation for like an hour.
We just did.
Yeah, we would have like a whole long ass conversation for like an hour, and without pressing live.
It's what we do.
Yeah, it would be ridiculous.
It's what we do best. But anyway, so we're here rocking and rolling, live on multiple channels, both YouTube's as well as Twitter, because Twitter is life, regardless of who the CEO is. I'm hoping that Tom from MySpace does it. Did you see that?
I don't care. Yeah,
I love Tom, dude. He gave us theme music.
Yeah, I don't care who it is as long as I can eventually change my name from Moonbirds.
Did they give you any update on when that's going to happen?
I sent them some stuff yesterday. Like they asked for more. They were like, we need a screenshot of the problem, and I was like, I screenshotted it, and then I put in an arrow, and then I was like, that's the people who hacked me. Like I would like to actually represent it like my brand and shit like that. So
I think you just change your name to Moonbirds. Just go with it. Just fucking just roll.
Yeah, just roll with it. I think it's like trademarked already though, or something like that. So
well, they stole your name, so you should be able to steal theirs. I think there's some kind of legal justification for it.
Right, exactly. No shit. I gotta be. I like. It's so fucked up because the biggest terror I had was that like they had erased my entire history because I downloaded it since then. Like you can download all that.
Oh, no shit.
Yeah. But I was like, because it's like almost 3 years of I told you so's. And I was like,
You're not even worried about the account. You're worried about the I told you so's.
Man, I've had to build so many new accounts. Like,
oh my God.
Like
you're the king of rebuilding. I think your YouTube's been through like 12 iterations at this point.
I still like, no matter what, like all my videos on YouTube will have like 99 to 100% approval, like likes to dislikes. There's always that, like those two trolls that come in and dislike it. But, they'll all have that, but I lose like 30 subscribers every time I post.
Oh man, it's
they still hate me, but that's not what we're here to talk about.
No,
we're not here to
So Christmas is coming up, and there's some phenomenal data on weight gain during Christmas. It turns out if you gain 15 pounds, you're keeping that shit all the way through the next Christmas. And then the next Christmas, you're going to gain another 15 pounds. Yep. And then you're keeping that shit through the next Christmas. Then you're going to gain another. Next thing you know, you're up 100 pounds because of holiday weight gain that accumulates over time. So to think that I'm just going to let loose this Christmas and this holiday season, and I'll fix it with my New Year's resolution. Actually, the data is pretty clear that most people don't lose the holiday weight gain. You were telling me that that's a recent phenomenon?
In like the last 20 or 30 years, before like 30 years ago, people had like weight cycles, basically. So the way we even evolved, one of the reasons why there's so many holidays in the fall is because it's harvest time. Like most food crops come into harvest, right?
Yeah.
So people would then, then eat a little bit more. Plus, people are inherently less active because of the weather in most places. And then people would gain a little bit of weight, right? Like anywhere from 10 to 15 pounds, depending on the size of the person, anywhere from 5 to 10% body mass, right? Which is crazy because 30 years ago, 150-pound male was the average male, right?
Yeah. But really, 150?
Yeah, dude. I mean, you and I are around other like normies all the time. Know these motherfuckers should weigh like 150, 155 pounds.
Yeah,
like, I mean, you can see it.
There's no lean mass, and even guys who are like 170 apparently lean, they got that poochy belly. You know that poochy belly, that little pooch, that like that VAT, that visceral adipose tissue hard pooch, that little pregnancy belly, like the man emoji who's pregnant.
The man emoji who's pregnant.
You know the pregnant guy emoji, because men can get pregnant.
Yes, that's right. They can get
pregnant. Ovulating. I'm ovulating right now, by the way.
Are you? I'm glad we're not. I'm glad we're not together. That would be an baby.
Well, I mean, we do share menstrual periods now. I think that's that. How do women do that? How do they hang out for like a week? All of a sudden they're bleeding on the same day. Like, how does that work?
I'm not sure. Lady
Hawk needs to let us know.
I don't know how we got on this subject. It's just always fucking crazy. Look, people are just already like, oh shit. Anyway, but yes, it is actually a real thing that people gain. They used to gain like 5-10% of their body mass over the winter. And then as the summer months hit, when they became more active, when they food became sparse, they would lose that weight out. Now what's happened in the age of convenience is that people gain 5 to 10 pounds a year every year, or 5 to 15 pounds a year every year, and they don't take that stuff off, and it just accumulates up. So 5 years down the road, you're like, wow, I've gained 50 pounds. And it's just this weird thing that we don't recognize that, you know?
This is actually a good comment to kind of parlay on. So if you think about it, like we've talked about this before, people think because it's the RDA that 2,000 calories is what people should eat. On contraire, most people, based on their activity, they're not plowing fields, they're not hunting. Most people are probably around 1,000 to 1,400 calories a day as their maintenance because they don't exercise. They go to their exercise is literally going from the cubicle to the bathroom, to the cubicle to the car, to the house, to the couch. That's what most people do. So 52,000 calories in a month is not that much extra, because if you're eating 10,000 calories a day, which these people can do, man. I've been to holiday parties and I will literally mentally count what people are eating, and they will literally throw down in one evening without even thinking on hors d'oeuvres, 4,000 to 5,000 calories.
Oh yeah.
On hors d'oeuvres.
Well, there's also the increased alcoholic consumption too, which it just crashes fat loss. Like if you one of the best things I ever did to get lean, I stopped drinking. Like I remember 2 years ago, I messaged you 2 years ago. I was like, I'm done smoking weed. I'm done drinking.
Yeah.
You know? And ever since then, it's just gotten really fucking easy. You know what I mean? Like it really has. If anything, like I make sure to fluff myself up for like several months of the year, just because I'm so old and my joints feel better this way. You know what I mean? Like, but the reality is like these people can ingest, like I did a video forever ago called like the 10,000 calorie challenge is just Thanksgiving. Like, remember when YouTubers were like, I'm going to do the 10,000 calorie day challenge. And here's me sitting there at the time, like 270 pounds. I'm like, so Thursday. You know?
So, hey, before we dive into this, I want to actually ask you guys to do us a favor. As you know, we have 5 products in the Vitamin Shop: Planta, Nectar, Ember, Kinetic, and Alan's product, No Morbidity. Just so you guys know, No Morbidity is Alan's product. So the better that does, the better Alan does. So No Morbidity is out of stock at Tiger Fitness and at Ambrosia. So I want to ask you a favor. There's a Vitamin Shop that's within 15 minutes of your house, most likely, all right? We got the new Honey Lemon Nectar. This just arrived at the Vitamin Shop. This is their exclusive flavor. Buy this. We got No Morbidity. Again, that's the only place to get it. People keep messaging us, where's No Morbidity? We have more coming in stock, I guarantee that. But for time being, just go to the Vitamin Shop, because that will help us. That will help Alan a lot, because our relationship with Ambrosia and the Vitamin Shop, the more you support them, of course, buy from us too. Like we like selling direct. But, you know, for this time when you're restocking, when you need more Planta or Kinetic or Ember or whatever, just go this time. Show some love to the Vitamin Shop and buy some Ambrosia, okay? And while you're there, be sure to tell the person you're checking out that this is your favorite brand. I'm asking you guys a favor for Alan and for myself. It helps tremendously in building this brand and in building Alan too. So No Morbidity is in stock.
I'm so happy it's in Vitamin Shop. You know, like that's the thing. Like, you know, when people me and you have talked before. People don't seem to understand, because I'm not a big supplement guy. But I take only health supplements now. But the fucked up thing is, Ambrosia's line is almost completely health supplements. It's health supplementation, and that's why I'm able to get just absolutely 100% be on board. Plus, like you can do little things like take a half of an Ember and some mental jewels right before a workout. It'll change your fucking life. Trust me. It's also you can take Kinetic. Kinetic is a very it has a good stimulant in it, and it also has a wonderful focus in it. It's amazing, you know?
And as for Planta, Violet, you're going to love it. Get the banana maple French toast or the chocolate caramel candy bar, CT Fletcher's flavor. And another thing about Ambrosia, we're not just creating supplements. We're helping people. You see what Mike's doing in Chicago, helping build up the Black community in Chicago. I want to be a part of this. They're not just complaining. They're not just talking. They're out there helping, putting money back into the Black community instead of the people who just use them for votes.
You got to be about it.
They're about it. I'm about all this. Kevin Gates speaking out on topics, telling the truth, not just, and that's why I want to be a part of this group. Like, we are such a great group of people. They are such a great group of people to be a part of. I'm just honored to be there as a partner, and our parent company, Brandless, is absolutely fantastic. They're the best. And we just had a great meeting with them, a board meeting last week. So we have a lot of cool stuff coming in, including a fasting formula that is to be taken intra-workout or during a fast, things that nobody's ever done. So it's good. And of course, another product of Allen's is our glucose disposal agent. And that had to be pushed back to Q2 just because we wanted to make sure we had full resources to make sure that it's launched correctly. For those of you in marketing, you understand.
Well, one of the reasons why No Morbidity keeps running out of stock, guys, is like we were expecting it to do well, but it does so well, and the ingredients are so hard to get. That we had to get it to the point where we don't run out of stock. That's coming too, though. So which we're good.
We're about 2 runs away from figuring out what we're doing. So and then we'll get into the topic, I promise you, but just a little business thing. When working with a partner, which we took on in June, you have to have projections on point. I can't just be like, Sean, I think we're going to run 7,500 units, or Sean, I think we need 30,000. We have to have the charts. We have to have the justification, because it's a big picture type thing, and there's a board involved. So just giving you a heads up on that. But everyday operations is still us. Yeah. They're just there to make sure that we don't mess up. So
that's the thing. I mean, I personally think that we've done a good job of getting it out there already. I think it's more of it's a new market too. So it was hard to gear sales on, because that's what when I first came to you about it, I was like, it's a completely untapped market. But as we're seeing, weight loss pharma and weight loss, everything like that is going to be a really hot topic. Actually, for those of you that are wondering, 5:00 today, I'm reviewing a weight loss pharmaceutical drug.
Oh, the one we got pissed off at this morning? Yeah. I was at the gym, and Cammie was like, why'd you get mad? Because, I was taking a break. She was doing her set, and I got your text. I'm like, oh, no. Yeah, and I'm like, crazy. I don't usually I only check my text if I see the preview come up, and it's like you, Sean, or Chad. Right. And Mike. Other than that, I don't answer any text during training, but I'm like, oh, man, that pissed me off. You guys got to watch what he says. So those of you on my channel right now, go to Alan's channel later.
Yeah, 5 p.m. Eastern time today.
5 p.m. Eastern. All right, so let's talk about how not to fat yourself, how to unfat yourself. Now, last thing I'm going to do is tell you not to enjoy Christmas, tell you not to eat your Aunt Becky's Jell-O casserole. Those are terrible. My wife's grandmother, before she passed away, she used to make this Jell-O form thing with crap in it, and they all pretended to like it. It was fucking horrible. But anyway, besides the point. So whatever your grandma, your aunt, don't piss them off by bringing your own chicken and rice. Okay. Don't do that, because you're going to regret it, because they're going to die, and you're going to be like, man, Aunt Becky really worked hard on that yam casserole, and I pissed that bitch off, and you don't want to do that. Mm-hmm. So you don't want to do that. But one thing I will say is, keep it to one serving, one meal. Don't go back for seconds and thirds, and just portion out your plate. Try a little of everything so you don't piss off your family, and have your meal, sit at the table, say grace, do whatever you Christians do, and have a good time. Enjoy it. Have that Christmas meal. And hey, if you have a dinner on Christmas Eve too, have that meal. But you want to keep your calories lower throughout the day. Don't snack on the fudge that's sitting on the counter that your aunt made. Don't snack on things. And if you really want to be anal about it, just keep your portions low. Have only protein before the meal, or protein heavy meal. And even for that meal, I know y'all got some Christmas ham or some turkey or whatever you eat. Make the biggest portion of whatever it is on your plate protein. So make your protein the biggest thing on the plate. Fill in the rest with whatever yummy food, have dessert, call it a day. Leftovers, leave that up to your fat Uncle Rob, okay? Mm-hmm. But I want you to enjoy Christmas, but also, this is also going to help you enjoy your day more, because nothing's worse than that itis you feel after eating. You're going to ruin your day. You're going to have to nap. You're going to have an upset stomach. You're going to end up crapping your pants. So just keep it within reason. Enjoy the food. Enjoy the time. Don't be a glutton. That's what
that was outstanding. And honestly, that's pretty close to the advice I give to all of my clients, just to be real, dude. I mean, one of the things I can say, especially if you're visiting family, and you're coming back that day, or you're even coming back the day after, make sure you know what your first meal at your place is going to be. Like, make sure you have the food procured. I highly recommend that the day after you have any type of, especially indulgence, when it's going to be a lot of sugar and possibly alcohol, you make sure that you have plenty of hydration waiting for you, like a cold 30-ounce water bottle in the refrigerator for the next morning, but also steak and eggs, like two eggs over medium for the yolk, and a nice piece of sirloin. Healthy fat protein helps you actually like get like, beat down any of those things. Of course, take your no morbidity on those days. I would highly suggest no morbidity. Right now, this is no shit. Right now, if you were smart, because you're going to be eating a ton of sugar, you would take Nutrient Driver or berberine 3 times a day, morning, afternoon, and evening, just to make sure that you have good blood sugar regulation. Berberine is the active ingredient of that, and our glucose disposal agent has berberine in it also coming up soon. But for right now, Nutrient Driver does an excellent job for me. That's what I've been using in its stead, and it's what I use for the berberine portion of the ingredient while testing out product 2, which is what I call it all the time.
Product. So the great thing about that, Alan, it's funny. Berberine is the hero product in every GDA. In ours, it's literally a secondary support ingredient. That's how dope this formula is. It's not even the hero ingredient. No. I mean, it's insane. So I basically, if you listen to even 10% of what each of us said, you're going to be fine. And also keep it to that day. Don't make it a week binge. Don't make it look, if you mess up for one day, that's completely acceptable. You can mitigate that, right? Mm-hmm. So what do you do the day after? Let's say you just blow it and you lose it, man. Like you're Italian and your uncle made some tiramisu. I got to admit, if there was tiramisu, I'd gain about 20 pounds.
Yeah.
My wife's dad, who passed away actually a few years ago, in 2004, he made the greatest tiramisu. And it's like I would eat till I passed out and had diabetes. I mean, it was so good. So let's say you blow it. The next day, that doesn't mean punish yourself. Don't go on the treadmill and run for 5 hours. Don't starve yourself. Don't fast. Just get right back on the program you're used to being on. Because the one thing we need to realize, a lot of it's up here. It's mental. So I don't want you associating food with good and bad behavior, with positive, negative reinforcement. I want you to just wake up, be like, okay, wake up, get some exercise, do your cardio, whatever, do your weight training. And then you know what? Eat what you would have eaten that day had you not screwed up. Don't do the whole binge and punish. That's the worst thing you can do. It creates a vicious cycle that I have seen literally drive people into counseling and eating disorders. Please, for the love of God, don't do that.
My business partner, that's what we think almost exactly alike. The worst thing you can do is punish yourself over overeating. First of all, it's a holiday. Yes. Like, these are the days you're supposed to do this. Honestly, I think that, like, if you have some indulgence on a particular day, it's important, especially for people with problems with food. And again, like, it's weird how much the fitness era, like people in fitness versus people that have serious problems. I find the more Mark and I talk, I find less and less difference. I find there'll be a lot of overlap, because people that are like Mark, who stay like fucking peeled to the bone.
There's like 2 of us.
Well, it's such an anomalous thing.
Yeah.
And I think that to a great degree, most people in fitness need the occasional break.
Yes.
They like, and that the holidays, your birthday, those are perfect times to do so. If you build up an unhealthy relationship with that, meaning like, I get tons of messages this time of year. What should I eat on Christmas? Whatever your mother fucking makes, bro. Because if you don't eat your mama's food, like Mark was just talking about Italian. I grew up Italian American. If I didn't eat my mother's food, I would get a wooden spoon across my knuckles.
Yeah.
But the good old days, like when
you could beat your children legally. I love it.
Yeah.
Now I just shame my children. I'm like, I'm so ashamed.
Dude, I used to get my ass whipped in Kroger. This is no shit. I was acting a fool when I was like 7 years old in Kroger, and my mother had pulled the wooden spoon off of the fucking rack.
No, she beat you with a wooden spoon she didn't even own.
She didn't even. Well, we had to buy it because she broke it over my ass, and then I got the wooden spoon when we got home again. because I made her break a wooden spoon and have to buy a wooden spoon. You know,
Oh,
like,
thank
anyway.
God she didn't have access to metal silverware.
No shit. The spatula's hurt. No shit. But
they do. Yeah. Oh, dude, I think that my brother-in-law, I think Katie's older brother, I think they used a stick. They literally like beat his ass with a switch. Yeah. My parents, see, my mom was Israeli military. She just punched me. My mom literally knocked me out when I was like 7. That's awesome. She spanked me and I thought I was badass. So I laughed. Then she punched me in my face. When I got up, she said, okay, no more open fist. I said, okay. And that's years of counseling down the road. I can laugh at it. Right.
Yeah. Now we're okay with it. It's always funny because like we go to see my mom and like they treat my son like he's like, oh, I was like, don't let them fool you. They are horrible, mean people.
Dude, I think they regret it though. I think it was a time when, like I've never hit my kids, but they think I will. Like my kids, if I act like they're like, oh my God, this guy might flip his shit. And now it's like, I'm like, have I ever hit you? Like, no. I'm like, but this could be the time. Yeah. So I mean,
just so you know, it's always an option still. Because you get your freebie. Like you know what I mean. Like since you haven't, you still get one.
Yeah. I mean, and now it's just like I think my 14-year-old weighing by over 100 pounds. We were wrestling like because he's a wrestler. He's at a meet right now, and dude, he actually kind of kicked my ass. Like he got a point on me. I was like, okay, we're done. Like if he gets bigger, I'm so screwed. Like,
oh yeah, oh my God, Thomas. Not to mention that, but like if you guys ever meet his kid is like a total fucking savage. Like I mean,
like
sociopath. His sense of humor, dude. I love his sense of humor so much. You have no idea.
He's a sociopath. But so we've gone over like the normal people, right? Yeah. Well, this guy just paid $10 or female. I'm not sure. Is that I wish I don't know. It doesn't matter. This is a gender neutral question. Yeah. So this comes from Delphini Evanhui. The whiz is fucking question for Mark. What would you do if prepping for a show and had to attend a family holiday celebration? So everything we just said, my man or my chick, it doesn't apply to you. I'm sorry. Like you gotta, if you're getting ready for a show, and I've done this. In fact, December 11th is when I earned my IFBB Pro card last year. That means Thanksgiving was 2 weeks prior. Mm-hmm. I ate white meat turkey and I weighed it out and that was it. So if you're getting ready for a show, man, you don't get Christmas. You don't get Thanksgiving. You don't get a free meal. You are getting ready for a show. You made that choice. You made your bed. That meal could be the difference between first place and 9th place. Yeah. Because you're on a trajectory and playing cleanup from a meal that can happen on Christmas. Now, if your show is in 8 weeks, allow yourself to live a little. Mm-hmm. If your show, I'm trying to think. I don't even know if I don't know of any shows in January or February. There are some muscle contest shows in the beginning of the year, but if it's a natural show, I don't know what organization. They usually don't have shows in Jan, Feb. But if you're less than 8 weeks away, 8 weeks out, you don't get Christmas. You don't get any of that. If you want to win, when you're getting ready for a show, when you lock it in, I guarantee you this: if I'm 12 weeks or less out, if it's not prepared by me, and if it's not in my Tupperware, and if it's not weighed and measured by me, it's not getting eaten. Yeah. And because you are partaking in an activity that is inherently unhealthy from a mental and a physical standpoint. Bodybuilding, physique contest, shows, the chances of you developing an eating disorder, I have no statistics, no science, they're extremely high. Mm-hmm. So bodybuilding, dieting is essentially a controlled eating disorder.
Yeah. I have I have multiple clients that are from bodybuilding. Like
really?
Yeah, multiple. I actually have a young lady who just placed in her regional strongman competition too.
Really?
It was a matter of getting her to the weight class she could be at to win for me. But she's also a binge eater, so we couldn't just do the normal diet portion, we had to make sure we talked about like getting it associated. And one of the things we did was like, she enjoyed Thanksgiving, but we made sure it was very controlled. Like three-fourths of the plate was turkey, then sides, then one slice of pie, because it was her mother's pumpkin pie.
You cannot turn down mom's pumpkin pie, man.
But I get tons like that, tons of ex-athletes. Ex-athletes are the worst, actually, because if an ex-athlete gets morbidly obese, and this is a good thing for all of you to listen to about Christmas too. This is why you need to look out for it. If you just started your journey and you're an ex-athlete, especially, you probably already feel like shit. Like, ex-athletes compare themselves to their best ever. So the first 3 months of an athlete trying to go from morbidly obese back to healthy sucks for them. It's the highest percentage of quit time for their health journey. Whereas a person that's been fat all their life, the first 3 to 4 months are normally the absolute easiest, because they can lose 10 pounds and feel a world better. So they've never been truly healthy, so they have nothing to compare it to, right? They lose 30 or 40 pounds from morbidly obese. Like a 300-pound person that's been 300 pounds for almost the entirety of their life loses 30 pounds. Tons of shit is more accessible to them, even with that weight loss. But if you're 300 pounds and you were once 150 pounds lean mass and were a wrestler and shit like that, like 30 pounds, you still look the same, feel the same, basically, and you can't move like you used to, and that's depressing. So when they first start their journey right before Christmas, they have one bad day, and then it's so easy for them to just say, fuck it. You know what I mean? It's like much easier than people that are like, have been big all their life. Like, for all these people, though, we all do the same thing. Make sure you don't punish yourself for that day. If you overeat, eat consistently the exact same way that you have, that you would normally eat. Hydrate really, really well. Somebody even mentioned in there, like,
yes,
me and you texted about this a bunch of times. I am a firm believer that most of obesity could be resolved with 1 ounce per pound of body mass of hydration as a staple. Because like people are like, well, I weigh 400 pounds. That's 400 ounces. Yeah.
Yep.
It is.
Yep.
You're 100% right. That's a huge amount of volume of shit to put in your body that is going to be healthy for you. You are 400 pounds. So you do need that fluid. Like, no matter, like, you really fucking do, you know? But a lot of it could. And it's just something that's overlooked, especially if you're going to be having a lot of ultra processed carbohydrates and or alcohol, because alcohol does, like, we count all fluid. Like, when we talk to our clients, we count all fluid except for alcohol. Alcohol we don't count as hydration, you know?
Did you just see the Cincinnati Bengals coach, analyst who died earlier this year? He died of alcohol-related causes, ethanol buildup in his system. So I have one of my clients. I only train a few people in person, and he drank last weekend, and he couldn't train for shit this week. And I'm like, dude, what happened this weekend where you're dying? He's like, oh yeah, I drank. I'm like, he's like, well, what do I do when I drink? I'm like, you don't drink. There's no way around it. Alcohol, the reason you get drunk is you're poisoned. Like, you're literally poisoning yourself. Being drunk is literally your body saying, what are you doing? Stop poisoning me. There's no way around it. Alcohol is deadly. It has no benefit to your health. Stop drinking. Stop it. You know, don't do it. Oh, I think he went dark. You guys hearing me though? Yeah, I think we are. I think Alan just kind of just froze up, but we'll, he'll be back in. But until we get to him, we get to some questions, if that's cool. You guys done with that? But comment in here if you still hear me. Oh, yep. He's signing back in, guys. He's signing back in. So we'll be good to go. So why don't we get to some questions? Everybody hear me? Everybody hear me okay? Okay, cool. When Alan's back in, I'll have him right back. I'm making sure he didn't text me. I'm sure he's trying to sign back in right now. But for now, we can get to some questions, and we'll be good to go. I'm going to get through the whole high, all this stuff, see if we get some content. Wow, you'd have to eat so many extra calories to gain 15 pounds in 1 month. As someone who coaches athletes who get ready for bodybuilding shows and compete, I will have bodybuilders come back from a show without really being that dehydrated or depleted, and they will gain 20 pounds in about four days. This is not abnormal. And obviously there's a lot of glycogen, a lot of hydration issues, a lot of people just gain weight because of water, like their body's putting back on water. But I've seen people have one cheat meal and gain a ton of weight. So the fact of the matter is, it's just weight comes on quick. It really does. And some people just put it on really fast, whether it's hydration or not. It just happens. Let's go down right here. Oh, Alan's back.
How are we doing?
We're good, man.
We just had a power surge, so.
Oh, but you're back.
I'm back.
And we're good to go. So I think, do you want to I think we pretty much covered a lot of, man, you have some power issues. I think it's still the hurricane. I think it's still coming back.
They're still rebuilding our grid. That's what that's what it's from, for real.
Oh my goodness.
They're still they're working on, right now, right down the road from us, they're putting in this massive drainage system to prevent houses from getting flooded again. Should that happen again, but hopefully it'll be all right. The power's back on now. We just had a surge. I just got to get my gear booted back up, but I'm on my phone, so let's fucking do it.
Hey, you know what? It works. It works.
Yeah.
So let's want to get to questions.
Let's do it.
I think we answered a lot of stuff. So I'm 5'5", 110, maintain on 1,400 active. 1,400 calories is 6. Now you're active. And if you're anything like your picture here, like you're fit, you're active, you're lean, and 1,400 is about where it's at. Like there was a study that was presented at ISSN we were at by that wasn't Gatorade's presentation. It was on the college soccer players, the female college soccer players. These are girls running about 10 miles of practice, and their caloric maintenance was like 2,400. These are girls running 10 miles a day and doing strength training at a college level, and their maintenance was 2,400 calories. I'm guessing most of y'all ain't running 10 miles a day in weight training.
I mean, one of the things we do for clients is what's the weight range you're going to ideally be in. Okay, if for her, she's 110-pound female, so 110, multiply that by 10 as your base. That's your base calories. Don't eat below that for hunger. And once it gets to the point where it's such a small for such a small person, you have to be much more careful about food quality and micronutrient load and quality and shit like that. I would suggest that if you're, especially with the way food is nowadays, I would still suggest a very good multivitamin. Immortal's amazing. Yeah. Definitely try to get some extra B2 also in there for women, maybe some extra iron.
B2?
But, yeah.
Is B2 good? I didn't know that. What would B2 be for females? What's the correlation?
It's good for nails, hair, and it also helps prevent period-driven migraines.
That's not riboflavin, is it? What is B2? What is that?
Yeah.
It is. Okay, cool. Okay, yep. Got it.
It's prescribed to a lot of women that get very serious migraines also.
Yes, my daughter was taking that when she got the hemiplegic migraines.
Yeah.
It's absolutely. Yeah. So here's one. I put together one of my old meals I ate when I was super fat, and it was 2,000 calories for just dinner.
Yep, happens all the time. We get people. I mean, no shit, Mark. We get people that like don't realize how much they eat at all. I mean. And I just find it to be this kind of crazy thing where people will suck down, 3,000 and 4,000 calories in a day. Like, again, just a few years ago, dude, when we first started to know each other, like people were doing like the 10,000 calorie day challenge. And I'm sitting here thinking like, go to Starbucks twice a day, you're 1,500 calories in, like for some of these drinks. When they drink so much of their calories too, it's just a massive amount of calories that they don't even recognize, right? And your body doesn't even recognize it really either. But then you get to the point where like people put butter and sauces and literally on everything, and then you're eating like flour is a massively calorically dense item. So say you eat 8 ounces of pasta. 8 ounces of pasta and 8 ounces of potato are different by about 240 calories.
Wow.
It's like literally like the potato is probably like 150 calories. The pasta is almost 400, just alone. And one meal, like when you think about like, especially if you got a big appetite, like me, like you don't have that big of an appetite. People may think you do, but like Mark basically had to force feed himself to get big. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's
like, dude, I can sit down and eat an entire sushi boat. Like if I was on no morbidity and Ember and shit like that, my appetite's just absolutely ferocious.
Yeah.
So 2,000 calories a meal. I bet you that they don't even count the meals that they would eat for breakfast. Breakfast kills people. It just absolutely destroys people.
Go to just go to any restaurant and look at their like normal breakfast. It's like, holy shit, that's like 1,200 calories. And like First Watch lists their calories, and it's like, dude, that's 1,300 calories. 1,300. That's your entire day at breakfast. So everything you're eating over that is just going to make you fat. Think about that. Where my breakfast, and I'm a large guy, my meals average out to around 400 to 600 calories. Like chicken and rice. Good luck getting fat on that shit.
Right.
You know, you have to eat a metric ass load of that to get any bit. And this guy's right. Nick, I've seen people like go to Chipotle and watch people refill their Coca-Colas. Like it's crazy when I go on these soccer trips and I see other parents and they're just drinking regular soda. Like it's not weird. I'm like, you just put down 700 calories in soda. Like it didn't even satiate you. It actually made you more hungry because the blood sugar spike. Like, and they know what they're doing. They just really like soda. It's what they do.
It's there's a study out, like this is like fucking 15 years ago, dude. So it's probably way worse now. But the average person took in like 24 ounces of soda, of cola in a day in America. The average person, and if everybody would switch that to just water, the average person would lose 20 to 24 pounds in a year. Like just one simple thing. Like I think that's what's so frustrating as part for me, because I focus on this way more than other people. It's a lot of it is just very easy steps, you know, that people can take, like very basic steps. And I always try to profess, like, I don't expect people to look like you or even like me, because I mean, I'm way far in appearance away from you, but still, like, I do fitness for a living. Like I work out hard, you know, like I don't expect people to be like that, but I do expect you to give a little bit of a fuck about yourself, you know,
and tiny fuck.
Yeah, just a tiny fuck. But if it's Starbucks in the mornings, you know, if it's Starbucks in the morning, Pepsi at lunch, and then you finish off with like some sort of sugary drink at night or a piece of pie at night, like you don't need dessert every fucking day. And if you do, you don't have to have like fruits a good dessert. Like whey protein is a perfect dessert. Like I make puddings with it all the time just to have in my fridge, because it is actually it doesn't spike your blood sugar, it doesn't spike the glycemic index at all, and it's extra protein, you know, and it's food.
And it's anorectic. Whey protein has a very, very high anorectic effect, which anorectic means it helps hunger and cravings. And another thing, Violet and Alan mentioned this earlier, you're right. So alcohol also, not only does it add calories, but it also blunts your body's ability to burn fat for not only while you're drinking, but for up to and above 9 hours afterwards.
Crazy.
And these are all... So Vitamin Shop, the thing is, if you must live in the boonies, but there's like a bunch of them within like a 20-minute radius of me, and I'm in Tennessee, so like we just got indoor plumbing last year. So so the thing is with Vitamin Shop, if you go on vitaminshop.com, and it'll tell you if it's in stock, and you can even make it for in-store pickup. Super easy. You pay on your computer, you go there, pick it up. Again, like we're normally going to tell you to go to Tiger Fitness or Ambrosia Collective, but for this time, you know what? I would love to see all of our products sell out by the first of the year, just because it will help us tremendously. So if you love puppies, then you will go buy Ambrosia from the Vitamin Shop. Yes, alcohol is poison. I love puppies. Fauci doesn't love puppies.
We're not going there today. We're not going there today.
Well, but he doesn't love puppies. That's all I'm saying. Not going there at all. But
it's true. It's true.
At least beagles.
Yeah. Beagles got to be like, holy shit.
And so I went to Vitamin Shop to film, for our social media stuff. So my daughter was cameraman. I had my mic, and they literally sold out of all the No Morbidity in a day because they had it in stock. They got it in stock yesterday, and it was awesome. I'm like, oh, you don't have it, so we had to improvise. I held up a bottle of Ember backwards.
That's awesome.
You get actually, I'm like, it gives me a reason to be back, you know. So Heidi, and that's I think Heidi, and I'll address this first, Alan. I think the goal of everybody is to not have to measure food to get to that level. Absolutely. And if you're at your goal body weight and you're happy and you're healthy and you're fit and you can eyeball things, by all means. But for most people, you do have to have some kind of form of measurement, whether it's diabetic exchange, which is that's what I use personally for my dieting. I don't count every macro, or if you know, you use some other, like a fist for meat or whatever. Like you got to have some idea of what you're eating.
You know, I often tell people like dinner should look like, you know, that size of protein, that size of vegetables, and that size of starch. You know what I mean? Like right here.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's a good nomenclature for it. I personally don't track my calories either, but I do have all of our clients do a particular exercise before they stop counting calories for at least a month or two. Everything you put in there, you take a guess first and find out how close you are. Like if you can teach yourself, you're technically still like calorie counting, you're just doing it in your head. To not be aware, like, and I probably imagine she's a regular on my videos, not or on my lives. She's lost a tremendous amount of weight. She probably eats very close to the same thing every single day, that sort of thing. I still have a chronometer on my phone, and if I'm eating out and I want to get like an idea, I will take a look at like what it is on there too, just to make sure. You do want to get to the point eventually where you don't have to be relegated to measuring food, counting food, those sorts of things. But for a lot of people, that has a lot more to do with like their eating disorder too. Like if people can get too fucked up with counting of calories, and it can actually become its own problem. You know, that type thing.
It becomes a form of orthorexia. You know,
absolutely.
more of a mathematical orthorexia, where orthorexia is normally food quality or food type. I use the term mathematical orthorexia because you're looking at numbers, and it starts to overwhelm your life, where you're constantly on your phone tracking and planning, and it ruins you. I've seen it ruin people. Like you got to when we say we've seen it, we're not lying, because we've literally worked cumulatively with tens of thousands of people.
Oh yeah, I mean I've seen so many people go in a full weight regain because they miss a day of tracking on MyFitnessPal. And MyFitnessPal's got people fucked up. I really believe MyFitnessPal doesn't want people to get super healthy, because if you exercise and you put exercise into MyFitnessPal, it gives you those calories to eat. You know, which is fucking stupid. You know, like I mean, it builds in a habit of people chasing the like exercise so they can eat more. That's not a healthy thing, you know?
No, I again, but apps can only, as someone who has a free app, it can only do so much. You have to almost hire a human to help you. You need that human touch.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
And that's why we do.
I do coaching. You can get it in the description box.
Exactly. Hire Alan. I mean, that's how you do it.
Dude, we have one client that's lost 135 pounds in a year. Satiated, satisfied, killing it.
And that's what it's all about. You know, I have one of my in-person clients. Again, I don't accept more than 3 at a time. And he went from 285. He's down to almost below 230 now. And this is, I think we started training in August. He cut out alcohol, and he started being more cognizant of his protein choices. That's what it's all about. Yeah. So I own a company called MTS Nutrition, as well as Ambrosia. If you want whey, get MTS Nutrition whey. But let me tell you this: Ambrosia Planta is lactose and dairy free. So a lot of the issues you'll have with making you gassy, it will not come from Planta. In fact, Planta is what we give to people when whey makes them gassy.
I have both MTS and Planta in my cabinet right now, and Planta doesn't give me gas at all. And I just kind of like mix match which one of the ones I want for the day.
Yeah, I'm looking through if let's go down to there's so many questions here today. Thank you so much, guys. And I know you have stuff to do, Alan. So let's if you see any you want to click on, it's overwhelming and we love it, guys. And if we missed yours, we apologize, but we're going through now, see if there's for anybody listening, I'm putting this on Spotify and everything, or Apple, or Apple Podcasts. And for those of you watching, we're actually reading questions that are live on our YouTube and our Twitters. So actually all YouTube. So there's so that's what we're kind of doing here. My shrink warned me about orthorexia since I've had other eating disorders. Orthorexia is real. I wouldn't like people say it's it's not just as bad. Bulimia is worse. Anorexia is worse, but it's still bad.
Yeah. Orthorexia, I think, the social component is much more fucked up because
Uh-huh.
I think it has a lot to do with people wanting to be out and be seen. Anorexia, it's really like kind of like a self punishment. You know what I mean? Orthorexia, though, no shit. Like, I honestly believe it's more annoying to the people around you than
Yeah.
anorexia too, because people like it's like all they fucking talk about. Anorexics want to be kind of left alone a little bit. And this is a very serious generalization. I'm not a mental health professional. Got to say that. But orthorexia is absolutely real. Like so I would argue that a huge portion of the fitness community has some sort of it. You know what I mean? Like it's where uh, they're not balanced. Like they're just not balanced people at all. You know, that's why when you see some of them fall off, they fall off so hard. You know?
Yeah, it's bad. It's bad. So any eating disorder is bad. Bigorexia, orthorexia, anorexia, bulimia. So again, if you have any of these, again, you got to see a professional. It's nothing to be taken lightly. It's something you need to address. And here's the exact opposite, Alan, something you probably don't deal with as much as me, from arrogant eyeball. What a great, I don't even know what that means, but I love it. It just makes me think, like, what is that? I'm a hard gainer with no appetite worth a shit. How should I boost my appetite? My fitness pal suggests 60 calories a day. That's ridiculous for me. Do you have any thoughts on this, Alan? Before I
do.
cannonball in?
I do. First of all, you're not really a hard gainer. You're just an undereater. I mean, like most of the time, hard gainers are undereaters, right?
Facts.
And that's what you're talking. That's what you're talking about. Yeah, that's what you're talking about here. But Mark once told me, and I truly have seen this because I've stayed at his place. He's probably like 50% whey powder. You know, like, and for people that have a hard time ingesting that much volume of food, my very strong suggestion to you is consider that kind of a gift, and then you can supplement with calories via fluid. Very rarely do I suggest that to people, but if you are going to be on a temporary bulk where your intention is to add 15 pounds and then take that same 15 pounds off and try to change body composition, or if you are a hard gainer, you don't want to get too used to it, like trying to just shove food in. Like that's what I did. I got very used to just packing the food in. And the problem with that is once you go to take the fat off, should it go too far, then you have to get used to a completely lower volume of food again. Instead of just being able to eat hog wild and get used to the feeling of stuffing yourself, you have to, in fact, then suffer through the hunger. That's one of the reasons why I had such issues and why I think I developed binge eating disorder. But I do suggest that for people that are trying to either temporarily bulk or very serious hard gainers, take a look at and I'm not talking about a mass gainer. Don't do the mass gainer things because I do think that they just spike your blood sugar, stuff like that.
Garbage. Do not use it. So I always tell people, just to cut in, I don't make it. When I made a mass gainer, it was too expensive because I added quality carbohydrate. All the mass gainers in the market are trash. Just take whey protein, put a banana and peanut butter.
Yeah.
There you go. Yeah. Perfect. That's your weight gainer. Whey protein, banana, and peanut butter. I eat probably right now, since I'm trying to gain, I'm trying not to lose, is I eat probably 4 to 5 bananas a day. Because and also if you're someone like me who's dealt with irritable bowel syndrome, banana is literally a food they recommend if you have an IBS flare up. Yeah. So
the brat diet is bananas, rice, applesauce.
That's it. Yep. Yeah. Bananas are amazing, and bananas and rice are probably my two main carbohydrate. I wanted to get so my thing is with that, and I want to talk about lecithin because I think it's something that's misunderstood because people vilify soy because they're stupid. Not you, but people who promote soy being the devil are stupid. No offense, except you're stupid. You're not stupid. They're stupid, but we're going to make you be unstupid. So with mass gaining, here's the bottom line. It's not for everybody. I could have been a better bodybuilder if I would have eaten more. 100%. I could have gained more lean mass. Beautiful cat. If I would have eaten more. But unfortunately, I don't have the stomach to eat more, and I refuse to feel like shit the entire day because I'm shoveling down food. I grew to the point where my appetite would take me. Gaining weight for hard gainers or people with faster metabolisms than their appetite can sustain, it's not for everybody. So you're going to be uncomfortable. You're going to hate your life. But what I'm going to add, and this is something I learned from a friend of mine, Alex Kickle, who's also a coach, and I want is bodybuilders eat clean because you can eat more. If I eat a greasy hamburger or pizza, I can't get anything in my stomach for like 5-6 hours. If I go right now and eat some chicken and rice, I can eat again in about 60 minutes. So if you're trying to pack in food, keep it clean. Certain hacks, and I'm sorry if I take too long on this, Alan.
No,
honey is a hack. Honey. Peanut butter and nuts, very calorically dense. Healthy oils, olive oil, avocado oil, macadamia nut oil, all add calories. Okay, I like to eat, what I do also is I add an outright bar. This is my personal thing. So if I eat 6 meals a day, I'll also have 6 to 7 outright bars a day because I use that for an extra 300 calories and it digests easy, has honey, and what I said before, healthy fats. So that's one way to get your calories higher. And so basically it's about adding in calories, but make them as nutrient dense. Like honey is a superfood. It has 26 essential vitamins and minerals. Honey's great. Nuts are great. Peanut butter is great. Almond butter, cashew butter, caloric density. Okay. And the cleaner the food, the less nasty, fried, and greasy the food, the more calories you'll be able to take in. And while science doesn't support me on this, your gains will be much better. Much more lean to fat gains. No science, just complete me saying stuff from my experience.
But the thing is, like you're able to maintain your physique all year round too. Plus, being able to run 25,000 businesses. So
yeah, it's fun. And onto the soy lecithin. Soy lecithin, actually, I used to supplement with it back in the early 2000s because of its health benefits. I just pulled this up right now. It's been shown in studies to lower cholesterol, helps to improve heart health. It helps with breastfeeding moms, helps improve digestion, might fight dementia symptoms, helps with skin health. I mean, it does a lot of good things. So soy, the reason people think it makes you somehow estrogenic, because it has something in it called phytoestrogens. Phytoestrogens are not estrogens. They do not directly convert to estrogen. I'm not telling you to take in 200 grams of soy a day, but if you have 10 to 20 grams of soy, if you go to sushi and you eat some edamame, I've never met one person who got bitch tits from soy.
I think it's just this weird thing that I see like as a norm, but it's amazing how they'll take an extreme dose. Like you need an extreme amount of soy in your system to affect your estrogen levels. An extreme amount, right? You need to that pretty much needs to be the entirety of your caloric consumption. And we will see people, alienate, bastardize, and pretty much demonize certain types of foods, but nobody ever does it for processed sugar.
And I think it's the carnivore people though. Like they really did this anti-soy thing. The keto people or the manosphere on Twitter, like they're big on anti-soy, anti-seed oil, and they're citing some weird animal data. There's no human data that backs up what they're saying. Seed oils are fine. I'm not saying, again, it's dose and duration. If I have something that has seed oils as an emulsifier, I'm not worried about it. Now, I'm not drinking gallons of seed oil a day. That would be bad with any oil, Right. So the bottom line is what they'll do is they'll take rat data with literally using the rat's body weight and say, oh, it causes cancer. And it's like, no, it doesn't. And me and Lane Norton are pretty much the only people speaking up against these dumbasses.
Well, I personally, I take in olive oil. That's about it. I don't do much nut oils, but I also do stuff a little different where I render the fat on my steaks and I use that or I'll make bacon once a week and I'll use the bacon fat too. You know what I mean? Because to me, I like the animal fats much better. And I think the tallow and bacon fat and lard that I render naturally is way safer for me than the shit that's put into a cup that you then fucking buy from the store. You know what I mean? But I have soybeans in my fucking cabinet right now. Like I use edamame. I use edamame. If I feel like I'm a little backed up, I'll eat some edamame, some seeded edamame, and for the fiber content, it's fiber and protein together. Why the fuck would you not?
Yeah, a lecithin is not a B vitamin. It is it's made up of fatty acids. And it's actually used in whey protein to instantize it. So whey protein that mixes well is sprayed with either soy or sunflower lecithin. So that is the application of soy in the production of instantized protein, if you didn't know that. I'm the king of useless information, but there is
It's not useless. You say that all the time. It is not useless at all. I learn
what
shit all the
about
time.
so Lady Hawk, the connection between phytoestrogen and breast cancer risk. Again, you're looking at correlative explorative data. And again, it's dose and duration. Like I wouldn't worry about popping. I'm not telling you to make 50% of your diet soy. I'm saying that you shouldn't purposely avoid soy. Edamame has health benefits, soy has health benefits, and phytoestrogens have health benefits. So I wouldn't, nobody ever got breast cancer from eating soybeans. It's just never happened. I'm willing to go on the record as saying that. And again, it's people trying to sell you on their lifestyle. So they're vilifying another lifestyle. And I find that extremely disingenuous.
I would worry much more about the plastic packaging that it comes in than the actual soy. Like that's what we're exposed to something like. I think if the data is something like the average person is exposed to toxins like almost 800,000 times a day between the clothes we wear and everything like that, because most clothes are made of oil, like a synthetic thread and stuff like that. But soy is still a plant. You know what I mean? Like there's very few, there's very few plants in nature that, when eaten in portion, are going to actually be super harmful for you. I think what it gets into is like the extremes. It's the same thing with like the carnivore thing. Like meat is not bad for you. Meat is very good for you. Red meat is very, very good for you.
Yeah.
Especially grass-fed red meat is extremely good for you.
Absolutely.
It's the people that eat 5 pounds of it a day that then act like it's a religion. That's not so healthy,
Yeah, and that we got a lot of questions. Have you heard about TMAO? It is correlative to heart disease. And it's said to be caused by carnitine, this, that, and the third. And the cure for TMAO, and I actually talked again, Alex Kickel. I didn't know the answer. And so TMAO, when you take in carnitine, your body knows what to do with it if it exercises. So exercise mitigates a lot of these potential issues, because a lot of these studies done in rats and done in people are done in either, again, it's a fucking rat. So they're taking in, they're giving them literally their body weight of this shit. You're not going to eat 200 pounds of fucking carnitine. And another thing is, a lot of these studies are done on sedentary, fat, obese, lazy people. So you can't correlate that data with someone like you, Jarella, who's fit, who exercises. Your body knows what to do with it. So bottom line is, being the people who have high TMAO, okay, what their thing is, they're already fat. So being fat is probably what's causing this correlative issue. So that's why you have to know how to read studies, and you can't just read one study and say this proves this. You have to read that study and another study, and then look at the population studied, and then you can truly get a grasp of what's going on. But to say that, hey, red meat causes cancer, that was a big thing. Or red meat does this, red meat does that. Now they're even saying, and this is, a lot of doctors are on board, that red meat does not even raise your serum cholesterol.
No, it doesn't.
That it's other factors. Bottom line is, if you exercise, eat whole natural foods, you will be healthier than you would be if you didn't. Period.
And it's shown in every study. It's the problem is people have been raised on, eat your Wheaties for breakfast, eat your your loaf of bread for your Subway sandwich at lunch, and make sure you have pasta every night for energy. Like the amount of ultra processed carbohydrates we take in compared to actual food, it's like 50% of the American diet is ultra processed carbs, which serve you no benefit but energy. And if we look around, most of America does not need that much energy. You don't need that much energy to go from your bed to your car to your desk to your car to your bed. Like you just don't need that much energy for that shit, No. And it's kind of crazy to me that we've gotten to the point where somehow or another they find a way to all of a sudden start bastardizing and demonizing the foods that are going to keep or get Americans healthy versus in lieu of things such as like soy's super bad for you, avoid it. Like, so now we've got people, half the country's afraid of soy, half the country lives on soy, and then we're going to argue about it as if it's a fucking real argument. You know what I mean? Like, watching the carnivore people and the vegan people go at it, while super entertaining, is like an exercise in stupidity. It's so ridiculous right now.
It's
because
tribal. It's like Democrats and Republicans. They don't even
it's
know. Most of the carnivores, if you present them with data, they'll be like, well, it worked for me. I'm
yeah,
like, okay, there's 4 million vegans that say the same thing. So my thought is it's kind of it's somewhere in the middle. I think they both have valid points. What the
Absolutely.
carnivores did, why I'm really respecting and thankful that Sean Baker came out and became the front man, even though he's an orthopedic surgeon. That doesn't make him a doctor of nutrition, but nonetheless, he's about as qualified to talk about as dieting as he actually less than me, because they don't teach medicine and orthopedics. You know what I mean? They don't teach nutrition. So one thing he did is he helped to mitigate or to have a dissent from the vegan saying that red meat's bad for you. So he's over here saying that red meat cures everything. They're over there saying that red meat kills you. The answer is right in the middle. So we need a carnivore for every vegan because they're all fucking tribally insane.
Yeah. If you look at it, a huge portion of the planet is vegan, but they don't eat vegan, like Americanized vegan foods. So that's another big thing. Like people can say, I'm vegan. Oreos are vegan. Oreos are vegan. So many other things.
Actually, Oreos aren't vegan. So here's how we know.
What?
We're making a cookies. Oh, you're the first one to know this. Everybody here. So we're making a cookies and cream planta. And in the process of making the cream, the filling, there is an animal product used. So Oreos are not actually vegan. And we had, again, like when we do anything, we make sure we're buttoned up. So we had to actually source and create a vegan cookie for the Planta cookies and cream, which should be out around Q2.
Okay.
That means April for all of you guys. Yeah. April, May. So this is the first I've told you about it too. We've been working on it for the last 8 months, and it finally is at the point we're happy with it. But Oreos are not vegan. I'm sorry, ADHD, but I had to just bring that in there.
No, that's I was unaware, because that's one of the big things. Like 2 years ago, one of my TikTok accounts got deleted from. I made a video, like Lizzo was showing herself dunking a cookie into milk. And I was like, do we really believe this is the first time she's dunking a fucking Oreo in the fucking
Is she really vegan?
Yeah, she claims to be. I mean, but they lie. You know, I mean,
I like her being vegan. It makes everybody else not want to be vegan. I'm actually happy with this development.
Yeah. Being vegan in the world we're in right now is very, very, very hard, just because the crap food that they give you, like, is just it. The fake vegan stuff is not good for you. I remember me and you talking about that the one time where one of your clients, like, their face would look like it would blow up, and because they ate the vegan tuna and everything like that. Like, it's inflammation, you know, like
it is.
Like, that much gluten is tough, you know, like, I mean, that's what we don't digest well, is gluten. Now, if you stick with beans and rice and stuff like that, while you're going to have to eat a shit ton of calories to build muscle on that, and you have to make sure to get plenty, like a full amino acid profile, and really watch your fatty acids, because like that's where it's lacking, is a complete amino acid profile and fatty acids. It can be very healthy. I actually have a couple, like, vegan clients that do really, really, really well.
Oh God,
as long as they stay away from the vegan products, you know.
Yep, so the guy you're talking about, we could actually be honest about it. It's Hawk, our good friend. And he used to get this weird bloating. Like one time his body was shredded. His face looked like one of those Cabbage Patch Kids from the 80s. And so now his protein source is only Planta. He literally, and the dude's going to win. He's going to win his pro card next year as a natural vegan. He trains. He trains harder than it, and he's a native. So he is vegan, not for health purposes, but because his Native American tribe, he's a chief. They're non-aggression. So that means they don't kill animals. So that's the reason. So he's doing it for something way beyond gains. He's doing it for his tribe. And I'm going to see him on January 2nd. So I'm really excited. But he placed 3rd at his weight class in the universe this year. And he's natural. He's a natural vegan. Insane. But the guy's he's a freak. But again, his only protein source is Planta. So he's the greatest spokesperson. And talk, if you know him, he will not shut up. He's quiet in person, but when he gets going.
Yeah.
Oh man. So
super knowledgeable guy too.
Oh, he is. So Sean Baker, I like. Paul Saladino, I think, is a used car salesman. I think 90 and Lane Norton blasts him every day. If you follow Lane, actually I've known since 2004, good friend of mine. Lane calls him out for the stupid things he says. Paul Saladino is also the guy who denies knowing that the Liver King was on steroids while being the spokesperson for his company. So while I do love Sean Baker, I have no good word, and I could be wrong. Maybe he didn't know. For me, Paul Saladino seems like a sleazy salesman. But if I'm wrong, I'd love to get to know him. But my perception of him now is he's a fucking scammer.
Yeah.
And I don't even think I think Sean follows the carnivore diet. Paul Saladino seems so greasy, no pun intended, that dad joke, that I don't think he even follows his shit. I guarantee that guy's eating a fucking sandwich right now. Everybody's fake.
Yeah. Oh my God. Dude, I talk about that all the time. Like one of the reasons why you and I are best friends is because like you're one of the only real people in fitness I've ever met. Like I swear.
Yeah.
Like, but to those of you that are all like, clutching at your pearls and everything like that about the fucking Liver King being, lying about not being natural, you're stupid. I mean, dude, it's not even the size. I got to be real. For me, it was not even the size. It was the out and out hardness and shreddedness all year round. Like, you got to be dumb. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
Because like in reality, like you even talk about it, like you're on TRT, like when you're that lean as a male, I don't give a fuck what you're eating. Your hormones are just like, what the fuck's going on?
He's not going to be running around happy. That's for goddamn sure.
Yeah.
Right? Like he's going to be like, I just want to eat. I'm really hungry. My penis doesn't work. Let me eat. And that's really what would happen. But my thing about, so let me put in perspective. So I'm open and honest about what I use, which is prescribed because I do have a deficiency. The HGH, I did have a little IGF deficiency. Full transparency. I'm taking that shit because I don't want to get old. I'm just being honest because fuck it. I'm not competing in anything where I'm not allowed to take it. So, hey, I take 2 IUs of HGH 5 days a week. 2 IUs 5 days a week. Liver King takes that in 1 day. His cruising dose was 10 IUs a day. So he wasn't just on a TRT dose. This man was on, and honestly, looking at his cruise cycle, it's higher than every IFBB Pro's cruise cycle I know. No IFBB Pro I know does 10 IUs of HGH every day in the off season. They drop it down to 2. Yeah. Sometimes 4, but never 10. This guy, and supposedly the reason his coach dropped him is because he was his blood work was so bad that he's like, I'm not working with you. Judging by if he took all those orals year round, his HGH was that high. That explains his HGH belly because he's on a super physiological dose of the prescription stuff. He's on the good shit too. He's paying 15K a month on it. Mine's like 200. So at the end of the day, this guy is super toxic, super unhealthy. He's going to be like Rich Piana. He's going to die before the age of 50 if he keeps this up. And if you believe for 1 second he's going to be natural now, you saw his before pictures. He's not going natural because he won't. He'll look honestly, and this is not. Alan will look better than him.
Yeah. I don't take that wrong. But my thing about it is this. Here's where dude fucked up. He openly said, I don't do that shit. If you buy my shit, you can look like me without doing that shit. So I'm sorry, the second that comes out of his mouth, why fucking watch him anymore? Because if you believe that that's true, like what amazes me is we still have people in society that somehow are convinced that that was true. Like it would have been one thing if he's like, you know what, here's how I do that. Like, here's how I do this. I take this, or I do, you can even say I do other things that I don't want to talk about because it's my personal medical business. But these types of things are good. Why? This is no shit, dude. Like I tell people all the time, like the very second the doctor tells me to do TRT, I'm gonna be like, where do I fucking stick it in? Like, I mean, I've got no problem with it whatsoever.
I just put a video up yesterday on my channel about injecting. So I got you. Microdosing. I mean, if you're doing TRT dose, it's easy. But here's the thing, dude. So Alan does look amazing. What I'm saying is he's not jacked like the Liver King. I mean, it is what it is. Like, and honestly, like Alan's not going around doing push-ups in LA traffic. The guy literally took a bench press out in LA traffic in the middle of a crosswalk. Like he's a piece of shit. Like I don't like this guy at all. I don't like anything about him. He just looks like he smells bad.
Yeah.
Some people just look stinky. He looks stinky.
I agree 100%. The issue, like my issue with that stuff is like, if you're gonna offer the information up, it better be true, right?
Yeah.
Like my thing for my clients, don't even compare yourself to, like, that's, you know me. That's one of the reasons why I don't even like pictures of me out there, because like, I don't want my clients to compare themselves to me, because what I can do in a given day, the time I have allotted, and just because I've been working out for 37 years and I have access. This is another thing too, people. I have access to people like Mark, like on a daily basis. Like if I have a question about training, I just ask him, you know, like, so my physique at my age compared to other guys at my age, it's not really a necessarily fair comparison, because other dudes my age got like 3 fucking jobs and all sorts of shit. Not that I don't have multiple jobs, but they're working in a different capacity than I'm working at, right? And it's just a different thing for that. Like people tend to compare themselves to these people online. Like if you could, like, it's like the Rock thing. Like people got all pissed off when Joe Rogan said he thinks The Rock isn't natural. Are you fucking kidding me?
Yeah,
like, I mean, come on now.
But The Rock doesn't claim natty. He just avoids the question. That's how you do it. The Rock's not like, I'm all natural, jabroni. No, the Rock just does rock shit, and he just doesn't talk about it. That's the way you do it. If the Liver King would have just not talked about it, that would have been fine. I would have been like, cool. If he would have been like, or Mike O'Hearn does it the best. He doesn't like go out there and say, I'm natural. People say, are you natural? He's like, yes. But he doesn't like harp on it. You know what I mean? Like he doesn't make that his persona, but there's a guy who has looked the same since 1985. Like I've told this story so many times. I was 15 years old training at Gold's Venice, because that's where I used to live. I lived in Culver City, Inglewood area. And I used to go to Venice. And I remember I saw him training there. He had and he was doing like 800 pounds on the goddamn reverse hyper. And I'm like, God, that guy's gorgeous. He had that flowing hair, and he looked, I shit you not, he looked the exact same as he does now. He hasn't changed. If he hasn't gotten better, he hasn't gotten worse. So and that's why I'm like, he might be a genetic anomaly. And at the end of the day, he's not selling based on that. You never see him like post like, here's me squatting 800 pounds. By the way, I'm natural. No, he's like, here's me squatting 800 pounds. Be a Titan. Here you go. Like, I'm okay with that. Like he's not out there. And if it's like Mike O'Hearn's not natural. Okay. Yeah. Surprise. But the Liver King literally went out and was like, Joe Rogan, I'm natural. Like he called people out.
Yeah.
So I mean, that's
where it gets crazy, you know, and for people to believe that is just out and out insanity, you know?
Yeah. Well, I mean, people didn't just believe it. People come to me like, Liver King looks better than you and he's natural. I'm like, okay, bro.
Okay.
I outweigh him. By the way, I outweigh him by near 20 pounds. So he's actually really not a big guy. He's just on so many drugs. He has that fullness, that hardness to his muscle, and that GH belly. I mean, his legs are shit. So, you know, if we stood on stage,
people that say that, you kill him.
If we stood on stage next to each other, like, I'm like, he's this. I'm like, is he an IFBB pro? I would make that dude my fucking bitch on stage.
Yep.
People wouldn't even look at him. It'd be like, who the fuck, why is that guy even here?
Yep.
Like, but I hate liars, and I hate him. I hate him with all my heart, with every fiber in my body. Like you and I texted that day it came out, and I'm like, it makes us all look bad. It makes the industry look bad. Yep, so he didn't just hurt himself. He hurt an entire industry, because now everybody's questioning everything. The biggest thing I get is, oh, you're not just on TRT. I'm like, why would I fucking lie? Like, I've given you my history. I told you the year I did drugs. I've told you everything I did. I'm not going to say it again. Mastron, Test, Halo, Trend. I've tried it. Not doing it now. Haven't done it in years. But like people, and it's like, I haven't changed. I look the fucking same. Like when I compete next time, you're going to see basically exactly what you see now. It's not. Oh wow, we have 3 of you now.
We have three.
Of me.
Want me to take you off this one?
Yeah.
There we go. That was awesome. There were 2 Allens. I say we do that every time. Is it work? Okay, we're working. We're on. So that's the thing, man. Whoa. What's going on with your computer? Should we go back to the other one?
We're back. Okay. Good.
Okay.
Good.
I honestly, my whole thing is I look the same like O'Hearn. Okay. But I'm admittedly on stuff. I look the same as I did, back in the day. I haven't changed. I haven't gotten bigger. I've gained 5 pounds since 2015. That's it. Like, and being on trend, and I look the same. So if I was on trend year round to maintain that trend look, then I would be dead. Like, you're not going to be on trend year round. And that's what people need to realize. But unfortunately, because Liver King did what he did, nobody believes anything we say now.
That's the problem. And it's the same thing when we get to the things with like the fucked up shit about supplements and all like that, like where people like will have like false ingredients.
Yeah.
It's one of the reasons why I'm super happy we do what we do with at Ambrosia, because like we make sure it's valid and good and stuff like that. But that gives everybody a bad name, especially like this is no shit, especially at a time when people don't believe me about this, but the supplement industry and the fitness industry, if we were all on the same page and like there wouldn't be half of us that were fucking dubious, fucking horrible people, we could save a lot of fucking lives right now. Like,
but
a lot of lives,
Instead, we're busy selling SARMs and fake pro hormones and, promoting, desiccated fucking cow balls. And it's like, it's just fucking terrible. And I'm so embarrassed of the industry that I reside in sometimes. And then you have the new stuff coming out about the IFBB. And I don't know if I sent you, there was a new article yesterday in the Post about stuff that allegedly went on and coaches killing people and all that. It's like,
damn.
Oh God. Yeah. I'll send it to you. I thought I did, but my bad. Yeah. It's just, I mean, it's a tough industry because when you actually have morals, ethics, and you want to do things the right way, there's a lot of companies that do, but the ones that don't are the ones that stand out. And they're the ones, unfortunately, that people talk about. The coaches that give people all these drugs and, they kill people. They literally kill people. And that's what we're judged by. So unfortunately, you're only as like in sports, like what is it? You're only as good as your weakest link. And that's kind of where we're at as an industry, is that we have a lot of unscrupulous characters doing unscrupulous things. And that forces the FDA to act on us and take action. And and you can't blame the FDA. Like, we're making our own bed because we're not self-policing. And the consumers are falling for it. Then you get tribalism, and it's like, you know what? I'm kind of over it.
What do you think about what's going on with the FDA and supplements?
Well, I honestly, it's so the FDA people I have dealt with, which spans back to 2004 when I testified on their behalf against someone who was spiking their fat burner with clenbuterol. Okay, so I have a long history with the FDA, and I've been very friendly with the FDA, and I have a contact the FDA I run all my labels by. And I think the FDA, and this is apart from what they're doing with the big pharma stuff, that's besides the point. The people I have dealt with, they just want everything to be by the rules. They want people to take safe supplements, and they want to make sure people don't get adulterants in their supplements.
Right.
So unfortunately, when there's a public outcry because of something like the Liver King or because of those Amazon products being tested and not coming back correctly, the FDA has an obligation as public employees, public servants, to clamp down on us. And unfortunately, that also means clamping down on the entire industry. So they have to get tighter. And then they're like, well, we don't have time for this shit. Just ban it all. So we are creating our own issues. We are creating our own problems. We are making our own bed because we are not policing the industry enough as an industry.
And that's one of the reasons why you'll hear me and Mark talk about, like, literally go out of our way to talk about other instances of when this stuff happens. Because I'm a firm believer that performance supplements help some people's performance. Should it be a crutch? Absolutely not. Like if you're taking daily pre-workout and you weigh 230 pounds and you're a soft belly, you might want to think about like trying to make sure you get like you pull back on that a little bit and get your shit together. Maybe focus on a few of the other supplements that can help you be healthier, right? But if it's to the stage where, you know, this stuff actually, like, there's very helpful not medications, but very helpful supplements that can help people reach health and get healthy, stay healthy, such as our products, No Morbidity, plus like Planta Protein's an amazing protein product. I'd love, like, I mean, and this is for real. Until our product 2 comes out, I take 2 of the ingredients from product 2 plus nutrient driver to steady my blood sugar. You know, I believe in this stuff, right? And it's just sad to me that how alienated it can get, but yet people will be really quick to take a pill from pharma and everything like that. When in fact, no better time in the world has been for people to rely on actual, what would be considered ancient wisdom with modern technique. You know, like, I mean, it's literally, that's what supplements are. It's ancient wisdom. Almost every supplement ingredient that comes from any type of, like, has any type of backing, scientific backing to it, comes from a form of Ayurvedic medicine, meaning like,
you're right. Ancient Chinese medicine too. Yeah. Ancient medicine.
Seaweeds, cactuses, like things that people have used for thousands of years to either help cure or prevent disease, that we've found a way to get the compounds out of them through modern techniques. And then utilize them. You know, that being alienated is crippling to our populace, if you ask me. It really is.
And you look at just the fenugreek plant, there's like 100 ingredients that can be synthesized and, you know, and isolated to create different benefits. It's from lactating to testosterone production. So it's fascinating. But on that note, I know you have a job. I'm actually pretty cool today, but anyway, we go for about 5 hours on this. Anyway, guys, I'd just like to add one more thing. Again, if you have a chance, go to the Vitamin Shop, pick up one of Ambrosia's products. No Morbidity is in stock. Go fast because we mentioned it, which means it's going to sell out pretty quick. And Nectar is in stock, and the honey lemon is delicious.
And when it sells out there, we will have it back in stock at the website. So
hopefully in the next couple days.
Yeah, we're ready to help you guys have the healthiest new year possible. I plan on I'm doing a live later on the day to talk about something else, but then the rest of my content throughout the rest until the new year is really going to be trying to gear towards helping people. Besides the quick videos I'm doing about all the craziness on TikTok, but the videos I'm trying to be doing it focused on starting your very serious this year. You have to get healthy. I want to warn people, just as a final note, like, we've spent 2 years as a very unhealthy population getting unhealthier, right? And we've done a good job of making sure we're arguing with each other nonstop. And I just want everybody to know that while I, like, both Mark and I, and I'm not going to speak for him, but I pretty much feel he feels the same way. I don't give a fuck what your religion is. I don't give a fuck who you voted for. I do not give a fuck what you like, who you want to sleep with. I don't give a fuck like what clothing you wear, how you identify. I don't give a fuck about any of that. I got to promise you that. Like, I have this big phrase, it does not affect me. And I mean, if you're, unless you're trying to actively fuck me, I don't give a fuck who you want to fuck. I really don't. I don't care. Me or one of my, unless it's something not consensual, I don't care. Like, I don't care what walk of life you come from.
We're not about no animal sex. No animal sex.
No, none of that. But I don't care, like, race, color, religion. I don't give a shit. I really don't. I view people as people and individuals, and I judge people individually. In my mind, I implore you, please take your health seriously. The next couple years could get very, very, very scary, very, very, very quickly for very many people. And we need everybody to do their part and try to be as healthy as humanly possible. That it means you should have a good muscle mass to you. You should get in the gym. You should try to make sure you have a good skeletal muscle to you. You should absolutely try to get plenty of hydration. You should control your appetite. You should eat whole foods as much as possible. You should have smart vitamin and macronutrients supplementation. I implore you, if you haven't been up until now, now is the time. You need to do this.
Absolutely. Well, thank you guys so much for watching. We'll be doing these.
Mark just booted himself off, but We'll be doing these more often, and I will be live at 5. I hope everybody has a great motherfucking day. Goddamn.